welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are cutting right through the noise and going straight into the deep end of global manufacturing strategy.
Yeah, we've got this fascinating stack of documents in front of us. It's all about a plan called Investing in Our Shared Future, Scaling for the Next Generation of Tools.
So for you, the listener, our mission today is to unpack a really massive, multi-phased investment. We're talking about $18.6 million.
That's right. And it's all designed not just to, grow production, but to build something they're calling a bulletproof, scaled, and resilient supply chain for high-performance tools.
And our sources are all about this big move by Anshin Tools out of Taiwan and their brand new facility, Shunfa Plant 2, over in Vietnam.
Right. So we're seeing them take decades of that very specific high-end Taiwan manufacturing expertise and deliberately building out a global footprint.
With a huge goal. They want to triple their production capacity. Okay, let's get into this. Let's really unpack what this means for the global tools market.
I think we have to start with the foundation, right?
Absolutely. Before we even get to Vietnam, we need to talk about Anshin Tools in Taiwan. They've been around since 2012, specializing in those high-performance manual and pneumatic tools. Professional stuff.
And that's the key. The only reason this whole expansion is even possible is because of their existing credibility. You can't scale if your core product isn't trusted.
And that credibility is really non-negotiable in the professional space.
Exactly. The documentation is really clear that their products consistently blow past the big international standards, DIN, ISO, ANSI. And those aren't just, letters on a box. They're the global gold standard for durability.
You can see them doubling down on that quality in Taiwan, even while planning all this. The recent upgrades at the main Anshin facility, they were substantial. They added 16 new CNC machines. That brings their total up to 28.
And what's so important about that is it's all about precision. That upgrade boosts their precision for those high tolerance tools, and it pushes their output at that main facility to 120, maybe 140,000 sets a month.
A huge number.
They're strengthening the core before they even try to copy it.
And they build the quality assurance right in. The docs highlight this big QC team. It's 8 people just on quality control, plus another 10 technicians and 2 inspectors.
So any people.
20 people just making sure nothing, absolutely nothing slips through. They're aiming for 0 defects.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, Anshin's real strength isn't just the volume, it's their flexibility.
How so?
They're set up to manage these huge high-volume orders, but also the more diverse, specialized low-volume orders. They're already serving clients on 5 continents, so the whole value proposition is this high-quality, flexible partnership.
So the upgrades in Taiwan were basically proof of concept.
Exactly. It shows they're committed to quality while getting ready to scale. They had to prove the Taiwan model was perfect before trying to copy it halfway across the world.
Which is the big question, right? How do you make sure that expertise travels 1,500 miles away to Vietnam? This is where it gets really interesting.
This is the big leap.
It is. We're talking about a multi-phase investment that totals, again, $18.6 million by November of 2025.
I mean, that is a massive capital expenditure, and that money is all going into launching Shunfa Plant C in Binh Duong, Vietnam, established in 2024.
And this isn't just, renting a warehouse somewhere. It's a brand new 10,000 square meter facility, built from the ground up.
State of the art. And the logistics I thought were really clever. The new plant is just 15 minutes away from their existing Shunfa plant bust.
So it's not 2 separate operations. It's one big integrated hub.
That's it. And they moved fast. They immediately staffed up with 45 new people, including 6 dedicated engineers, just ready to go from day one.
Okay, but the big strategic why has to be the most critical piece of this. The presentation says it so clearly. The goal is creating a resilient supply chain.
And that's the lesson everyone learned from the last few years of shipping crises and geopolitical instability, right?
Absolutely. But what specifically does that $18.6 million buy them in terms of mitigating that risk?
It hits 2 huge goals at once. First is diversification. Simple as that. It reduces their geographic risk from being so concentrated in Taiwan.
Yep.
Second is capacity unlocking. By building this robust multi-location footprint, they can grow like crazy without hitting a bottleneck in one spot. It's basically a high-quality backup system that's also an expansion.
It's a geographical insurance policy wrapped up in a growth plan. That makes a lot of sense. We should also point out the focus here. The documents mention Shunfa is specializing in high-quality impact sockets, mostly for the North American market.
Yeah, this isn't just general growth, it's a surgical strike into a really high demand product area.
And the whole thing depends on duplicating that Anshin precision. You move production,
Yeah.
you can't have a quality drop.
Absolutely not. And that's why the documents keep talking about an identical mirror infrastructure.
Okay, tell us what that means in practical terms. What does mirroring really involve?
It means the Shimfa plants in Vietnam are getting the exact same cutting-edge equipment as Anshin in Taiwan. Down to the specific models, identical CNC machining, drilling, grinding, stamping, everything.
So the output is consistent no matter if it comes from Taiwan or Vietnam.
That's the goal. And that's where you really see the $18.6 million. I mean, if you look at their investment table, from April to November 2025, the number of fully automatic CNC machines just explodes. It goes from 12 to 42.
Wow, that is a blistering pace of automation.
And it's specialized. They're adding CNCs with robotic arms going from 6 to 16. The notes say this is specifically for their high-end Icon line.
So it's not just automation for volume, it's for repeatability, for near zero errors.
Exactly. It's how you ensure that tripling your output doesn't dilute your quality.
Okay, but the tools are only as good as the testing. And to make sure quality stays the same across 2 continents, they use an identical Precision Lab setup.
Right, the testing suite.
Yeah, we saw a list of these specialized testers. Computerized torque, Rockwell hardness, salt spray, eccentricity testers. For the listener, why does this specific group of tests matter so much?
That's a great question because it can just sound like a bunch of jargon. Let's translate it.
Yeah.
Computerized torque testing. That just ensures the tool can handle the exact force it's rated for.
Critical for something like a torque wrench.
Absolutely. If it fails, the tool breaks, or even worse, the bolt isn't tightened correctly.
Right. And what about Rockwell hardness?
Rockwell testing measures the hardness of the metal itself. For a pro tool, this is everything. Too soft, it wears out or bends. Too hard, it gets brittle and can actually shatter. Rockwell is about finding that perfect sweet spot for durability.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay.
And the last 2, salt spray and eccentricity.
Salt spray is simple. It's for corrosion resistance. Pro tools get used in wet, dirty environments. If they rust, they fail. And eccentricity. This might be the most important one for a socket. It ensures it's perfectly circular.
So it fits perfectly on the nut or bolt.
Exactly. If it's even slightly off-center eccentric, it'll strip the fastener head under high torque. So they're testing for perfect alignment on every single piece. It's how they can guarantee that professional-grade durability.
That level of detail it's incredible. It shows how meticulous the plan is. But Plant 2 isn't just a copy. It's adding new capabilities. It's about vertical integration.
Precisely. Vertical integration just means you control more of the manufacturing process yourself. And this new facility is designed to bring some foundational steps in-house that they probably outsourced before.
Which gives them more control over quality and timelines.
Total control.
So what are these new core capabilities?
We're looking at 4 major additions. Cold forging with 4 machines. Heat treatment with 4 tempering furnaces and 2 box furnaces. And then plastic blow molding and injection molding, for their cases, and packaging.
Let's stick with cold forging for a second, because that seems like a really significant process to bring in-house. What's the advantage of that for the end user, for the person actually using the impact socket?
Oh, cold forging is a total game changer. When you form the metal at room temperature like that, it refines the grain structure of the steel. It makes the final product, the socket, way stronger, denser, and much more resistant to impact stress and fatigue.
So it just lasts longer.
It lasts longer and it won't fail catastrophically under the strain of a high-torque impact wrench. Bringing this in-house is a massive signal about their commitment to durability. It's how they make sure their sockets outperform the competition.
And their process control. I saw a note that the test runs for those forging machines are planned for at least 100,000 pieces each.
Yeah.
Before they even start mass production. That's a huge upfront investment.
It is, but it's how you de-risk the new facility. They need the statistical proof, the data that shows the new equipment performs identically to the original, especially for a process like forging.
Okay, so we've laid out the quality foundation, the strategy, the huge investment in machinery, the vertical integration. Now let's just talk numbers. What's the outcome here? The sources are clear. The plan is to triple capacity.
Yeah, and the simplest way to see that is piece capacity. They're going from a baseline of 1 million pieces a month in April 2025 to a target of 3 million pieces a month by November 2025.
In 7 months.
In 7 months. It's an incredibly aggressive timeline. It tells you how confident they are in the whole plan.
And that volume translates into a massive supply for the market. If you look at tool sets, Anshin handles about 140,000 sets a month now, max. The new Shunfa plant is estimated to also do 140,000 a month, just on a single shift.
Right.
Combine all the new and existing capacity, and the initial calculation is something like 614,750 sets per month. That is a staggering amount of inventory ready to hit the market.
And the date to circle on your calendar is the end of January 2026. That's when mass production in Vietnam is supposed to start.
But this isn't just about making more stuff. The sources show a really sophisticated plan to strategically move certain high-volume SKUs from Taiwan to the new Vietnam hub.
And this is maybe the most strategic part of the whole thing. It's optimization, not just expansion. They're shifting the proven high-demand products, probably the more straightforward things like basic socket sets, to the new, robust, and diversified facility in Vietnam.
Okay, but wait. If the big sellers move to Vietnam, what does that do to the Taiwan facility? Does it just sit there half empty?
No, quite the opposite. This is the genius of it. This move frees up all that specialized capacity, the experienced manpower, the engineering focus back in Taiwan.
Oh, I see.
So Taiwan, with its decades of core expertise, can now pivot. It can focus on more complex, lower volume, higher margin custom orders, or it can dedicate its resources to R&D and future innovation.
So the whole operation gets stronger. Volume is handled in Vietnam, complexity and innovation in Taiwan.
Exactly. And you have to think about logistics too. If you're making impact sockets for North America and Vietnam, you're also probably saving on shipping costs and transit times. It closes the loop on that whole resilience strategy.
It's a complete optimization. Quality control, risk reduction, and efficiency all in one move.
So this deep dive has really shown us a highly detailed $18.6 million strategic move. It's not just growth. It's a calculated, proactive play for supply chain robustness and security, all built on these mirrored high-quality systems.
So what does this all mean for you?
Well, this expansion into Vietnam, which is rigorously mirroring Taiwan's quality standards and adding core capabilities like cold forging, it ensures long-term stability and high-volume output for their key markets. It's really a textbook case of de-risking and modernizing a global manufacturing footprint.
It's incredible. It's not just spending money, it's buying certainty and quality. Yeah. And this whole strategy transitioning high-volume manufacturing to a diversified hub while holding on to those critical quality standards like DI and ISO, that's really a defining strategy in global trade today. So here's a thought for you to mull over. Considering the huge investment in foundational machinery like cold forging and all those CNCs, what might this new multi-location, quality mirrored approach mean for the future competitive landscape? If this becomes the new industry standard, does it permanently change the game for smaller tool makers who are still relying on less robust single-source supply chains? Something to think about until our next deep dive.